But you know what numbers also don't lie? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Joker, Joker, Joker. This has been really the laughing stock of the movie industry so far this year. And we're in October, y'all. We got 2 more months left. This is probably going to go down as one of the worst movies ever. Definitely one of the worst movies this year. What the hell happened with Joker 2? What happened with Joker 2? People want to know. This movie did worse than Morbius. I'm going to say that again. You under rock, who is Milton. Be glad you don't know who Milton is, Cammy. Cammy, Milton is the hurricane that is coming through in a couple of days. That's what's happening. Be glad, man. You're not in Florida, so you ain't got to worry about it. After this movie, go watch Transformers. That's been the thing too, which is hilarious. They're like, man, like don't like y'all talk about Joker, man. Don't watch Joker. Go watch Transformers. Oh man, so yeah, Joker did worse than Morbius, y'all, and I feel like that's a feat all in itself to do worse than Morbius. Like, it's Morbin time. Are you serious? You did worse than Morbius, man. What up, Joker? So let's see what happened, because there's a lot of reason as to why was this movie even made. Why did you decide to make it a musical? Why did you put Harley Quinn in here and made her Lady Gaga and she wasn't really needed? Was there any input from anybody else? Let's read into it. Do I agree with the theory that the director made the movie ad because people took the wrong idea from the first movie? I mean, anything could be true. It sounds far-fetched though to me. It sounds far-fetched because why? You know, my immediate question when I saw that was why? Why would you do that? It's the same thing as the people claiming that there are certain consultants trying to make games bad on purpose and inserting things that shouldn't be in video games. Why do you not want to make money? Isn't that the point? Like, if you're trying to prove a point here as a director, if you're trying to prove a point, this is the worst way to try to prove your point. That's why I say I think that's far-fetched, because why? You know, I'm not ruling it out, but it just sounds very far-fetched. It sounds made up, because why would you do that? You're not ruining the legacy of the DC franchise. You're ruining your legacy, really. But DC is a byproduct of what you allegedly did. You know, like, again, why would you do that? Because people now are gonna be looking at you like, oh man, you suck. You can't direct the movie. So unless you were trying to intentionally sabotage your career, why would you do that? I don't get it. So let's read this article. The Hollywood Reporter put out a very detailed article as to what happened. I will try to summarize as best as I can. So Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abbey, they took over as the co-heads of Warner Brothers movie studio in July 2021, which is painting a picture here. One of the first decisions they made was to move forward with a sequel to Joker. That was already a mistake. Where the thing is, man? Hold on.
Bitch, that's a mistake.
Why you do that? Because we didn't need it. Joker, the first Joker was surprisingly a good movie. But was it needed at the time? No. Especially not for Warner Brothers and not for DC. It wasn't needed, but it ended up being a pretty decent movie. So needing a sequel or wanting to see a sequel, yeah, that was not the best decision. But Warner Brothers have been making a lot of terrible decisions. They've been making a lot of terrible decisions. You know, we've been talking about them all year. They're just, I don't get what's going on, man. Again, we're going to upper management, the people who are leading these companies, not making the best decisions and not listening to what people want. So let's continue here. So he said that all the ideas were in place. The predecessor, Toby Emmerich, A-list director Todd Phillips, and the star, Joaquin Phoenix, got $20 million paydays and the film got $190 million. And said the first film cost $55 million. Can you believe that? The first Joker film cost $55 million. But they said, oh no, we're gonna up this budget to $190 million. What up, poser? That I haven't seen it. I'm going to see it. I'm gonna give me a ticket, you know, allegedly. I'm going to see it just to see how bad it is, but I would never go and see this in theaters. After seeing the reviews, I'm like, oh no. no. I'm not man. I'm dying. So I will watch it from the comfort of my own home, allegedly. All right. And then they said Lady Gaga got a perk package. She got 12. So Joaquin got 20. Lady Gaga got brought in. She got 12. And then she joined. All right. Abby and DeLuca could have said no to making the film. But they would have been the laughingstocks of Hollywood. I don't understand. Why would they be the laughingstocks of Hollywood here? Just because the Joker was a success. Again, I get it. You see something, they're like, oh man, that was really good movie, man. Look how much money it made us. But again, people weren't asking for a sequel to Joker. People weren't even asking for the original Joker. It just happened to be a good movie. Again, just follow me here. It just happened to be a good movie. So why would they be the laughing stocks of Hollywood if they didn't make a sequel? Okay. All right. Anyways, so this movie came out. And it said everyone at Warner Brothers, including the executive duo, were left reeling because this movie collapsed. It debuted with 37.8 million domestic opening. Became the first comic book movie in history to receive a D cinema score. And it says Phillips, according to one source, spent the weekend in seclusion on a ranch property. That man, he could not take the heat. He could not take the heat. He said, F this, bro. I gotta be alone. I gotta be alone. That's wild, man. You can't even. Damn. That sucks, man. Says domestically, this movie opened behind The Flash, which made 55, and The Marvels, which made 46.1. And both of these, according to the sales, were not good movies. And it came right behind, as we said before, Morbius, which made $39 million. Again, just to recap, this movie made 37.8 so far domestic opening, and Morbius made 39. So you're worse than Morbius by a good 2 million. Like what? Almost. Wow, that's just woo. Okay. So let's see. Overseas, this movie came in at 81 million, in line with expectations, but still notably behind the first film. Okay. Let's continue here. I'm gonna just scrub through. Numerous sources told the Hollywood Reporter that there's no studio head in Hollywood. And they said, but perhaps the Sony picture dude Tom Rothman, he would have turned down making a sequel to the film. And Abby and DeLuca were under orders by Warner Brothers Discovery chief Dave Zaslav. Again, we were just talking about him, the man who laid off people, who stopped movies from coming out, and him and other people who were at the head of Warner Brothers got themselves a nice little bonus. They got themselves a nice little bonus while they were laying off people. You know, hooray, hip hop, fucking wreck, right? You know, that's typical business, right? You know, lay off people just to make yourself a better payday. David Zaslav sounds like the worst person on earth. He honestly sounds like the worst person on earth. Again, we're just talking about why would someone want to sabotage their company? Shit, he might be with this Warner Discovery crap, because apparently you are unable to make any sort of profit at Warner Brothers right now. What the hell are you doing? Apparently a bunch of nothing. So of course it was him who told them to make this movie. Of course it was him. All right. To continue here, in our quote, he said, it is a collective failure, but it was right to make this movie. So it says one top veteran producer and financier who points out that Phillips is a brilliant director who has made Warner Brothers billions between the first Joker and the Hangover movies. Okay. All right. You have a better time. You weren't sober watching it. Oh man. Still observers wonder how DeLuca and Abdi, I keep saying it wrong. Said Abdi could have presided over a film that veers so far, of course, from what audiences wanted or expected. One answer is that Phillips was given an extraordinary level of autonomy and final cut. There was no test screening. I remember when I saw that article, I was like, "You're not testing this movie, really?" This was definitely the movie that y'all should have done a test screen for. Like, again, why? And they said Insider said this was a mutual decision between the filmmaker and Warner's in order to preserve spoilers. Don't nobody care about spoilers for this movie. I can almost guarantee it. I can almost guarantee nobody cared about spoilers. Let's see, blah blah. Talk about the first Joker. That no DC executives were involved this time, as they were in the first Joker movie. And say it would still be months before James Gunn and Peter Safran were hired. So maybe if James Gunn would have came through beforehand, maybe he would have had a say in the second Joker. Let's see. They talked about the first movie and they capped the budget. Let's see. Then on Sunday, Warner didn't attempt to sugarcoat the movie's performance or suggest it had a chance of catching on after being rejected by fanboys, unless people want to go see it because of the hate factor. Again, that's not what you should be saying. They also didn't point fingers internally, such as in marketing, which can often happen at the movie bar. Again, it wasn't marketing either. I mean, even though maybe marketing, if y'all would have done that better, then people would have known that it was a musical, that y'all decided to make it a musical, because that was the first surprise that I saw. I was like, wait a minute, this is a musical? Why? Again, why would y'all make the second movie a musical? Whose bright idea was that? Nobody wants a freaking musical of the Joker. Like, what? Nobody wants to see that at all. All right. And they say who gets to blame. So basically, you're pointing fingers here. Who's to blame here? Who's to blame? They said both Gunn and Phillips have emphasized in recent days that they did not work together on the project. Gunn saying, "Hey, that ain't me." And he said, "I ain't had nothing to do with that." Which is James Gunn. I'll be right with you. I'm like, nah, I ain't had no parts of this movie. At times you forgot you was watching a Mad Villain movie that just had bad comic movies back. Let's see. With Gunn answering the question from a fan on social media asking why the DC Studios logo did not appear in front of the movie, with the filmmaker exact writing because it's not a DC Studios film. That's great. He said, "Hey, DC Studios. All future films with DC characters will be DC Studios." Okay. That's wild. And then Phillips confirmed that Gunn and Safran had nothing to do with this movie. Yep. Which is great, man. Don't let them. Don't let them. Director's in the same category with the guy who did Thor: Love and Thunder to me. Oh man. Let's see. They said, regardless of whether Joker 2 is a proper DC title, it's the fifth bomb for a DC character-based film. Yeah, now I mean I get it. Everybody's crapping on Joker right now, and rightfully so. It's one of the worst DC movies like ever. But this wasn't the first bomb. This wasn't the first DC bomb. Like DC and the DC cinematic universe has not been doing well. So the Batman was pretty good, but recent misses: Black Adam, Shazam, which I liked the first Shazam. I did, but that second Shazam, it was hard for me to sit through. I don't know what the hell happened. Black Adam wasn't good. The Flash and Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom, I had to try to sit through Aquaman too. The first Aquaman was okay. Second Aquaman, nah. Like I don't get what's going on. See, The Flash was okay. The Flash was okay, but it was a bomb in terms of money. The more modesty budget, I actually like. Blue Beetle was actually okay, but it also underperformed. But yeah, Blue Beetle was actually okay. He said rigged. Here we go, Siggy. Nope. That was your fault, man. You see, that's karma. You should have let me only do it once. You would have been number one. Some have noted that the film is a very expensive punchline. Yeah, I mean 190 million compared to 55. That's a huge fail there. 190 million and you only made 37 domestically. Damn. Oh man. Let's see. Said the ending of the first movie's original script found Phoenix's Joker carving his face in front of a crowd of supporters, but the Dark Knight filmmaker Christopher Nolan killed that idea, believing that only his Joker, Heath Ledger, should carve his face. That's interesting. Christopher Nolan is no longer at the studio. Why they making a movie on Blue Beetle? I don't know. Is he popular in the comics? Not really. Not really. I felt like they were trying to pull on Marvel and trying to flesh out those lesser known characters. I feel like that's what they were trying to do there. Like I say, he's always trusted his gut and has gotten him pretty far. He thought people would get the joke. Notes another Warner's insider, Phillips. Neither Phillips nor Phoenix was even sure about making a sequel, and for a time contemplated putting on a Broadway show instead. Which, again, if y'all were trying to do a musical and y'all were thinking about doing a Broadway show, yeah, y'all should have just did the Broadway show. Before ultimately committing to the movie and bringing aboard Gaga in a role inspired by the comic book character Harley Quinn. The idea of a sequel came from Phoenix in a dream, and he and Phillips brought the idea to Emmerich. So Joaquin is on shrooms or something, because that came to you in a dream and y'all just went with it. In the end, some are saying the Joker is a very expensive art film, but when asked who the intended audience was, one outside source sums it up this way for Joaquin. So basically, what they were saying here is Joaquin had this idea, he brought it to life, and the movie was for him. It wasn't for anybody else. So F the fans, F anybody else, F any critics, other filmmakers. It doesn't matter. It was for Joaquin. It makes no sense, y'all. It makes no sense. And again, it's another bullet that Warner Brothers got to eat, and another L